The arena was alive with energy, a storm of cheers, flashes, and anticipation. Every seat was filled, fans on the edge of their chairs, some standing, waving banners, phones ready to capture every second. This was no ordinary night. The tension was palpable, the excitement almost electric. Manny Pacquiao entered the ring first, moving with the confidence of a champion. His gloves were tight, his gaze sharp, every step measured and precise. The crowd roared at his every movement, some chanting his name, others holding their breath in anticipation of the fight ahead. He was a whirlwind of energy, a living legend in the boxing world, and everyone watching knew that one punch from him could change the course of the match. Then, almost unexpectedly, Keanu Reeves appeared at the edge of the ring. Not as a fighter, not in a suit of armor or flashy gear. He didn't have cameras pointed at him. No entourage, no dramatic entrance. Just a quiet, calm presence amidst the chaos. His dark hair fell gently over his forehead, his iconic sunglasses reflecting the lights above, and a subtle, knowing smile played at the corner of his lips. The crowd noticed him immediately. Whispers spread like wildfire. Is that Keanu Reeves? What's he doing here? Is he part of the match? He didn't answer. He didn't even move much, just observed, standing with a posture so relaxed it almost contradicted the frantic energy around him. His presence had an effect no one expected. The arena seemed to shift slightly, the noise dimming in a subtle way, like a calm breeze, cutting through a storm. Fighters paused for a fraction of a second. Spectators leaned forward, curiosity piqued. Something about Keanu Reeves made everyone sense that tonight's events were about more than just punches and speed. Then the first bell rang. Manny bounced lightly on his toes, ready for action. And in that split second, the world seemed to hold its breath. Keanu's eyes followed every movement, and then a soft laugh, almost inaudible over the roar of the crowd. A laugh that wasn't mockery, but awe. A recognition of skill and effort. The crowd gasped. Cameras zoomed in. And in that single moment, everyone realized this wasn't going to be a normal night at the ring. Something unexpected was about to unfold. Something that would leave everyone talking long after the last bell had sounded. The arena was still buzzing from the entrance of Manny Pacquiao, his energy filling every corner of the building. The fans hadn't stopped cheering since he stepped onto the floor, a wave of excitement that seemed unstoppable. Vendors moved quickly through the aisles, shouting for attention, waving merchandise, and trying to catch the eyes of fans who barely noticed them. Bright lights crisscrossed the room. Cameras focused on every angle, capturing every detail of the impending battle. Every person there felt the weight of anticipation. Meanwhile, Keanu Reeves stood off to the side, almost hidden in plain sight. He didn't demand attention. He didn't need it. His calm aura contrasted sharply with the chaos around him. People recognized him immediately, but few could understand why he was there. Some whispered, "Is he just watching?" Others speculated, "Maybe he's mentoring someone?" The guesses flew as fast as the crowd's energy, but Keanu remained still, almost like a shadow quietly observing the storm. The contrast between him and Manny couldn't have been more striking. Manny was all motion, quick, sharp, explosive. His gloves flew as he shadowboxed, bouncing lightly on his feet, muscles coiled and ready to spring. Every movement spoke of years of training, of discipline and precision honed to perfection. Keanu, on the other hand, didn't flinch. He didn't pace. He didn't react to the noise or the energy. His stance was relaxed, yet something about the way he held himself made it clear that he noticed everything. Every twitch of a muscle, every shift in weight, every flicker of intent. The crowd continued to roar, but now there was a subtle tension in the air. Spectators leaned forward in their seats, straining to understand the story unfolding before them. Some were here to see Manny in action, expecting nothing more than a display of lightning-fast punches and jaw-dropping skill. Others were curious about Keanu. What was he doing here? What did he see that the rest of them couldn't? The questions buzzed like static, and yet, no one had an answer yet. Manny's warm-up became more intense. He bounced from corner to corner, each jab and hook a blur of motion. The sound of leather hitting leather echoed through the arena. Trainers shouted encouragement, calling out timing and technique. The energy was kinetic, almost electric. Yet through it all, Keanu's calm presence acted like a counterbalance. Where Manny's energy was a storm, Keanu's was a still pond, reflective, observing, silently absorbing. As the minutes passed, subtle interactions began to emerge. Fighters and trainers noticed Keanu watching, and it made them pause. Some glanced nervously, unsure what his presence meant. The fans noticed too, whispering excitedly, "He's smiling. He's laughing. What does he know?" The atmosphere changed. The arena wasn't just a place for a fight anymore. It was a stage for something deeper, something unexpected. And then Manny, sensing the heightened attention, glanced toward the side of the ring where Keanu stood. For the briefest moment, their eyes met. A silent acknowledgement passed between them, respect and recognition, even before a single punch had been thrown. The crowd might have missed it, but those who noticed felt a ripple of significance. Tonight wasn't just about a fight. It was about presence, skill, and understanding. Manny Pacquiao was a master of his craft, lightning in motion. Keanu Reeves, calm and observant, represented a different kind of mastery, the power of perception, timing, and silent influence. And in that charged moment, everyone in the arena sensed that history was about to unfold. The bell rang, sharp and sudden, slicing through the charged atmosphere of the arena. The crowd erupted, a wave of sound crashing against the walls, vibrating through every seat. All eyes were on Manny Pacquiao as he moved forward with the precision of a seasoned champion. His fists were raised, bouncing lightly, ready to unleash the flurry that had made him a legend. Every step, every shift in weight, was calculated. Every movement carried the weight of countless hours of training, countless battles fought and won. Manny's first jab flew forward, fast, clean, and deliberate. The sound of leather connecting with the glove echoed through the arena. The crowd leaned in, collectively holding their breath. The energy was electric, every fan alive with anticipation. And then came the next punch, a hook that arced with speed and power, a blur to the untrained eye. Each strike seemed faster than the one before, a testament to Pacquiao's unmatched skill. Meanwhile, Keanu Reeves stood at the edge of the ring, calm as ever. He didn't flinch. He didn't even blink. Instead, he observed with a quiet intensity that drew the attention of everyone nearby. His eyes followed every punch, every feint, every subtle shift in Manny's stance. And then, almost imperceptibly, a soft laugh escaped him, a gentle, quiet chuckle that barely carried over the roar of the crowd. The arena froze for a moment. A laugh. At Pacquiao. Some fans gasped audibly. Whispers spread like wildfire. Is he mocking him? Who laughs at Pacquiao? What does he know that we don't? The tension thickened. The crowd's excitement now mixed with confusion and curiosity. Manny paused mid-movement, just for a fraction of a second, enough to notice the reaction from the side of the ring. His eyes met Keanu's for the briefest moment. There was no disrespect in that gaze, only recognition. Keanu's expression didn't mock, it acknowledged skill. It was subtle, almost imperceptible, but the meaning was clear. The man standing there appreciated what he was seeing. And that subtlety shifted everything. Trainers whispered to each other, spectators leaned forward, and even some fans who had been cheering loudly now held their breath, sensing that something more than just a fight was unfolding. Keanu's quiet presence was a counterweight to the chaos of the ring, a reminder that observation and understanding could be as powerful as speed and strength. Manny launched his first true combination, a jab across, a hook, and Keanu's reaction came again. Another chuckle, this time a bit more audible, almost a smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. The crowd gasped louder. Phones were lifted, cameras zoomed in. Social media would explode with clips of this moment, the calm, enigmatic actor laughing quietly as a champion demonstrated his unmatched skill. No one could ignore it. Even Manny's movements carried a hint of curiosity now. There was a silent tension between the storm of action in the ring and the stillness of the observer. Every punch Manny threw seemed to carry more weight, not just in force, but in meaning. And everyone watching understood it. This wasn't just a demonstration of physical skill. This was a lesson in respect, perception, and the subtle power of presence. The first round hadn't even ended, and already the arena was buzzing with something new, admiration, awe, and the undeniable feeling that this night would be remembered not just for Pacquiao's punches, but for the calm, quiet gaze of Keanu Reeves. The crowd was still buzzing from the intensity of the first flurry, but now something had shifted. The roar of excitement was punctuated with murmurs, whispers, and sharp intakes of breath. Phones hovered in midair, cameras zoomed in, and eyes darted back and forth between the ring and the enigmatic figure standing to the side. Keanu Reeves, calm as a still lake in a storm, continued to watch Manny Pacquiao move with unrelenting precision. The subtle chuckle from earlier echoed in the minds of spectators, like an echo in a canyon. It wasn't mocking, it wasn't dismissive, but it was impossible to ignore. Every person in the arena felt it, like a ripple through the excitement, making them pause, lean forward, and reconsider what they thought they understood. What was this quiet man doing here? What did he see that the rest of them didn't? Around the ring, trainers and assistants exchanged nervous glances. One coach muttered under his breath, "Who is he? Why is he laughing?" Another shook his head. "I don't know, but he's calm. Too calm." Even seasoned boxing commentators, microphones in hand, paused mid-sentence. Their words stumbled over themselves as the cameras captured Keanu's serene presence, a stark contrast to the frenzy of the fight. Manny, focused and disciplined, hadn't missed a beat. He continued his movements, jabs and hooks flying, footwork precise, but there was now a subtle shift in his demeanor. Something in Keanu's gaze and quiet amusement made him hesitate ever so slightly before throwing the next punch. Not out of fear, not out of intimidation, but out of recognition. Someone else in this room, someone not in the ring, understood the craft, understood the discipline, understood the artistry of every movement. Fans noticed it too. A collective pause swept through the arena as they leaned forward, whispering, "He's smiling. Why is he smiling? Does he know him? Is this part of the show?" The energy was different now. It wasn't just adrenaline and competition. It was intrigue, fascination, and a shared sense of anticipation. Something rare was happening. A meeting of worlds of skill, discipline, and quiet presence. The commentators tried to regain control, their voices rising over the crowd. "Ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible display from Manny Pacquiao. And it seems we have a very special guest watching, Keanu Reeves, whose reaction is, well, it's unlike anything we've seen." Their words barely contained their astonishment, and every camera in the arena pivoted to capture him again. Keanu's calm smile, a gentle nod, a quiet chuckle, it became the story itself. An elderly fan near the front whispered to her companion, her voice trembling with excitement, "I know him, that's Keanu Reeves. Why is he laughing?" Her companion shrugged, equally captivated. Around them, the crowd was alive with speculation, every person trying to interpret what they were seeing. Some assumed admiration, others assumed amusement, but everyone agreed on one thing. This was no ordinary night. Manny delivered another combination, faster than the previous one, yet Keanu's reaction remained unchanged. The actor's laughter was now slightly louder, a soft, almost musical sound that carried over the clamor. Cameras caught it from multiple angles, and social media notifications lit up instantly. Clips of Keanu Reeves laughing at a champion boxer were being shared faster than any punch thrown in the ring. Memes, comments, and astonished tweets began circulating in real time. Even Manny's trainers started to feel the effect. They whispered strategies, but paused, watching how their fighter interacted indirectly with the quiet observer. For the first time, it seemed that the calm presence at the edge of the ring was as influential as the punches themselves. The energy in the arena became a mixture of awe and suspense. Fans, fighters, trainers, and commentators all felt the tension. Keanu Reeves wasn't there to interfere, but his presence was a silent force. The quiet power of observation, the subtle acknowledgement of skill, and the calm respect he exuded transformed a normal fight night into a spectacle of mutual recognition and admiration. And in that charged atmosphere, one thing became clear. This night would not be remembered just for the punches thrown, or the speed of a champion. It would be remembered for the calm presence that had captivated an entire arena, the laughter that wasn't mockery, and the reminder that respect and recognition don't always need to shout to be heard. The bell signaled the end of the first round. Sweat dripped, muscles tensed, and breaths came heavy. Yet Keanu remained serene, his gaze unwavering, his smile unchanged. The crowd erupted again, this time not just for the fight, but for the silent drama unfolding beyond the punches, a drama of respect, admiration, and unspoken understanding. Every spectator in the arena, from the front row to the topmost seats, understood that what they had witnessed in those few minutes was extraordinary. The story of the night wasn't just Manny Pacquiao's skill. It was the subtle power of quiet observation, the way respect can transcend noise, and the way a single presence can make an entire crowd rethink what they thought they knew. The first round ended, and the arena erupted once again. Fans clapped, cheered, and shouted, some standing on their seats, some waving their phones in the air. The roar was deafening, but the atmosphere had changed subtly. The chaos of excitement was now mixed with curiosity and awe. Everyone wanted to know more about the quiet, calm figure at the side of the ring, Keanu Reeves. Whispers spread through the crowd. Why is he here? Is he just a fan? Or is he involved somehow? The speculation was endless, but no one could answer. The commentators tried, but even their practiced voices faltered. It's rare, almost unprecedented, to figure like Keanu Reeves reacting this way to a professional fight. Their words barely carried over the hum of the crowd, as all attention had shifted subtly from the ring to the enigmatic observer. Meanwhile, Manny Pacquiao took a quick breather in his corner. He wiped sweat from his brow and glanced toward Keanu. The briefest flicker of acknowledgement passed between them again, a silent exchange, weighty with meaning. Manny's respect for the man watching him had grown with every punch thrown, every subtle laugh and nod, every quiet moment of calm in the storm. He wasn't sure why, but he knew that this presence mattered, that something extraordinary was about to happen. Then, suddenly, the arena lights dimmed slightly, focusing on the side of the ring where Keanu stood. The crowd leaned forward instinctively, sensing that the moment they had been waiting for was arriving. Cameras pivoted, phones zoomed in, and social media notifications began exploding in real time. And then came the subtle cue, the unmistakable presence of someone entering the scene with authority. A sleek black executive vehicle pulled up outside the arena entrance. Its doors opened smoothly, and 3 men in sharp suits stepped inside. They were not fans, nor security. They were professionals here with a purpose. Their eyes scanned the arena quickly, landing immediately on Keanu Reeves. Without hesitation, they approached him, their movements precise, almost rehearsed. "Mr. Reeves," the lead executive said, his voice calm but authoritative. "We've been trying to contact you regarding tonight's event. Your presence here is highly anticipated." The crowd was silent for a beat, noticing the formality and attention paid to Keanu. Cameras zoomed in closer, whispers ran through the stands, and the commentators struggled to maintain composure. "Ladies and gentlemen, it seems there's more to this story than we realized. Keanu Reeves is not just here as an observer." Keanu smiled softly, nodding once. "I came to witness skill, and to ensure respect is shown where it's due," he said. His calm voice carried through the small microphone the executives had brought. Even in the loud arena, there was clarity in his words. The crowd felt it, respect, authority, and quiet influence emanating from a single presence. The executive stepped back slightly, allowing Keanu to turn toward the ring. His gaze met Manny's again, and this time, there was no doubt. The acknowledgement was mutual. This wasn't just admiration, it was recognition of mastery. The crowd erupted, sensing the significance of the moment. What had seemed like a simple observation was now revealed to be an intentional display of respect and oversight. Keanu's laughter from earlier, once a point of curiosity, now made sense. It wasn't amusement at Manny. It was admiration for the skill, the dedication, the precision of a true champion. The subtle joy on Keanu's face reminded everyone that mastery commands quiet appreciation, not loud applause alone. Then he spoke again, his words deliberate. "Skill and dedication deserve acknowledgement, no matter who is watching. Tonight we celebrate that." The arena went silent for a moment, letting the weight of his statement sink in. Every fan, commentator, and participant realized that this was more than a fight. This was a lesson in humility, respect, and the quiet power of recognition. Even Manny's corner felt the impact. Trainers exchanged glances, understanding that the presence of someone like Keanu Reeves was altering the energy in the arena. Fans cheered louder than ever, not just for the punches, but for the meaning behind every movement, every glance, every subtle acknowledgement of greatness. As the lights brightened and the next round approached, the arena carried a new energy. The excitement was still electric, but now it was mixed with inspiration. The silent force of Keanu Reeves, the quiet authority of the executives, and the undeniable skill of Manny Pacquiao had transformed the night. What began as a simple sporting event had evolved into something memorable, profound, and unforgettable. Every spectator knew they were witnessing history, not just a fight, but a moment where respect, recognition, and admiration spoke louder than any punch could. The bell rang again, signaling the start of the next round, but the energy in the arena had shifted. The excitement was still there, still roaring like a tide, but layered beneath it was a new sensation, a mixture of respect, admiration, and quiet awe. The spectators who had come to watch a fight now felt as if they were witnessing something far greater, a meeting of mastery and presence, skill and observation, energy and calm. Manny Pacquiao moved with renewed focus. His punches were faster, sharper, more precise, but there was something different in his demeanor. He no longer fought just to impress the crowd or to dominate the match. Now, his movements carried awareness, subtle acknowledgement of the man watching him. Every jab, hook, and step was measured, not for show, but for meaning. And Keanu Reeves noticed it all, his calm gaze tracking each motion, nodding ever so slightly with appreciation. The crowd couldn't take their eyes off him. Phones hovered in the air, cameras zoomed in, and social media feeds exploded with clips. Keanu Reeves watching Pacquiao is the most satisfying thing ever. He's calm, he's observing, and he's impressed. The arena was alive, not just with the fight, but with the ripple effect of quiet influence. Back in the corner, Manny's trainers whispered among themselves. He's different now, one said. It's like he's performing for someone who actually understands. Another nodded. It's rare. Most fighters don't get this kind of acknowledgement. Look at him. He's not showing off. He's just perfecting his craft. The round continued, and the subtle shift in energy was undeniable. Manny's strikes were clean, powerful, and yet measured. There was no wasted motion, no overextension, no unnecessary flair. Every movement spoke of years of training, of discipline, and now, of quiet confidence inspired by the acknowledgement he felt from Keanu Reeves. At the side of the ring, Keanu remained serene, radiating calm authority. His presence alone seemed to influence the atmosphere. Fans whispered among themselves, realizing that mastery didn't always need to be loud or boastful. Sometimes true influence was quiet, subtle, and unassuming, a glance, a nod, a silent acknowledgement that could transform an entire moment. As the round ended, Manny paused, catching his breath. He looked toward Keanu once again. The recognition in that gaze was clear. Mutual respect, understanding, and admiration between two masters in their respective crafts. The crowd cheered louder than ever, sensing that this interaction transcended the sport itself. Keanu finally stepped forward, approaching Manny in a calm, measured manner. The crowd held its breath. What would happen next? Would there be words? A handshake. A nod was all that was needed. Keanu reached out, and Manny accepted, the brief handshake carrying more weight than any single punch thrown in the ring. It was an acknowledgement of skill, dedication, and humility. Then Keanu turned his attention to the crowd. His voice, calm and steady, carried over the arena. True respect doesn't come from winning or losing. It comes from understanding, acknowledging, and honoring skill wherever it is found. Tonight, we celebrate dedication, mastery, and the power of presence. The audience erupted. Fans cheered, some wiping tears from their eyes, others standing in awe of the profound lesson they had just witnessed. The energy of the arena had transformed from excitement to inspiration. Social media exploded, commentators were speechless, and even the trainers and fighters in the corners were moved by the quiet power of this moment. As the final bell rang, Manny raised his gloves, smiling, and the crowd roared. But the true victory wasn't in the match. It was in the respect, acknowledgement, and inspiration that had filled the arena. Keanu Reeves' presence, quiet yet powerful, had left an indelible mark on everyone who had witnessed it. Fans left the arena buzzing, not just about the fight, but about the lesson. Humility, skill, and quiet presence are often more powerful than loud displays of strength. The night would be remembered, not for the punches alone, but for the extraordinary, unspoken connection between two masters and the lasting impact of respect. And in the aftermath, one truth became clear. Influence doesn't shout. It shows. The arena had slowly begun to settle. Fans were still cheering, but the energy was different now. Excitement and adrenaline lingered, of course, but layered on top was a quiet sense of reflection, awe, and admiration. What had unfolded wasn't just a boxing match. It was a lesson in respect, humility, and the subtle power of presence. Manny Pacquiao had delivered a masterclass in skill, speed, and precision, leaving fans in awe of his physical prowess. But the most important lesson of the night wasn't in the punches thrown or the combinations landed. It was in the quiet acknowledgement of mastery, the nods, the smiles, and the subtle reactions from someone who understood the craft at a different level, Keanu Reeves. Keanu's calm presence had transformed the arena. He hadn't shouted, he hadn't demanded attention, and he hadn't needed to. Yet every eye in the building had been drawn to him. Every fan had felt the weight of his acknowledgement, and every fighter had been influenced by his observation. It was a reminder that influence doesn't always announce itself with loud gestures. Sometimes, it's quiet, understated, and profoundly effective. The handshake between Manny and Keanu after the fight was more than a greeting. It was a seal of mutual respect. Two masters recognizing each other's dedication and skill. One in the ring, the other observing. Yet both demonstrating that true mastery carries a responsibility to inspire, uplift, and honor others. The crowd erupted again, cheering not just for the fighters, but for the lesson they had just witnessed. Fans began talking, analyzing, and sharing the story of the night. Clips of Keanu laughing softly at Manny's first flurry of punches spread across social media. Comments poured in. Respect, skill, and humility. That's the takeaway. Keanu's presence is inspiring. This isn't just boxing, this is life. People everywhere were learning that influence and respect often come silently, but their impact resonates loudly. Keanu turned one last time toward the crowd, his calm smile carrying the final message. Mastery is more than ability. It's also how you respond, how you acknowledge, and how you inspire others without needing to dominate or overshadow them. True influence doesn't demand attention. It earns it through presence, integrity, and respect. As fans began to leave the arena, the energy had shifted from pure entertainment to inspiration. They didn't just remember Manny's lightning-fast punches or the roar of the crowd. They remembered the subtle power of observation, the quiet acknowledgement of skill, and the lesson that sometimes the most profound impact comes from those who watch, understand, and appreciate rather than act loudly. And this lesson didn't end in the arena. Online, in conversations, and in social media posts, people carried the message forward. The story of Manny Pacquiao and Keanu Reeves became more than a fight recap. It became a blueprint for humility, respect, and understanding in life. It reminded everyone that the people we might overlook today, the quiet observers, the calm influencers, the ones who choose reflection over reaction, may be the ones shaping the world tomorrow. Speech balloon type respect in the comments if you believe true mastery is more than just power. Speech balloon share where you're watching from, home, work, or somewhere unexpected, and be part of the story that everyone is talking about. Influence doesn't shout. Influence shows. Skill doesn't demand attention. Skill earns respect. Power doesn't require domination. Power comes from humility and understanding. And in that quiet yet unforgettable night, the world was reminded of one simple truth. The greatest impact often comes from those who observe, appreciate, and inspire silently, but leave a mark louder than any roar.